Well, there is breaking news we're getting in from the Middle East, where a crucial humanitarian effort is underway. Now, UN has said in a post that ceasefire aid trucks have now entered Gaza, and Hamas says next hostage prisoner swap on Saturday. These are the latest inputs that we're tracking from the ground, where a crucial humanitarian effort is underway. UN has said that post-ceasefire aid trucks have entered Gaza, and Hamas has said that next hostage prisoner swap is slated to be held on Saturday. Well, joining us on the broadcast for a better perspective on this situation is Akanksha. Very good morning, Akanksha. Akanksha, what's the latest on the aid trucks entering Gaza, and will this aid actually pave the way for lasting calm in Gaza?
Right, Kuhina, I think that's a very crucial question right now, one which everybody is trying to answer, because the fact of the matter remains that many critics are all of the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu have also been skeptical that perhaps this is just, a diplomatic gesture being conducted shortly before the new U.S. President-elect Donald Trump is inaugurated tonight. And for how long will this ceasefire last? That's the big question everybody is asking. But remember, Red Cross was handed over these 3 Israeli women yesterday in a major breakthrough, which has in fact also brought a new lease of hope for everyone. And now the next step, as you rightly highlighted, is going to be releasing that much needed aid in Gaza, which, as we all know, has been blocked for so very long. But we'll have to see for how long the Israeli administration will allow that aid to come in, because remember, it's not just Israel, but several within the incoming Trump administration, including the U.S. Secretary of the new U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and the U.S. Ambassador to Israel, Mark Huckabee. They all are very much against the role that UNRWA, or UNRWA as it's known, have been playing over there. They say that they are as much a part of the terrorist front. They are the ones who are also helping out Hamas. So we will have to see how Israel and the United States actually maneuver or sort of navigate their way diplomatically with UN and UNRWA as far as more aid to be provided in Gaza is concerned. But having said that, I think it's important to welcome this gesture. It is a massive breakthrough, one that has been brokered in not just by the United States, but Egypt and Qatar as well. As you also heard, the announcements already being made for the next hostage prisoner swap that's going to take place on Saturday. Having said that, after 471 days, these 3 Israeli women have been released, and that too in exchange for 90 Palestinians. And that really seems to be pinching Israel at the moment, because many of these prisoners had been jailed for stone pelting, for rioting, for protesting. They say that many of them had also caused harm to Israeli women and children. So we'll have to see how this ceasefire actually now shapes up. How much can Donald Trump extract out of Israel, and especially Prime Minister Netanyahu, given that he's an ardent supporter of the Israeli Prime Minister and his own son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who had ushered in the Abraham Accords. He had played a very crucial role in bringing out that deal, has his own interests in Israel and Israeli realtors as well. So we know that the Trump family also has their own interests in Israel. So we'll have to see how much can the U.S. sort of do for Gaza or for Palestine, even though Donald Trump said that he would like to prop up the Palestinian economy by pitching in $50 billion for the Palestinian economy. We'll have to see how much of it is currently political jargon and how much of it is actually orchestrated on the ground level, Kuhina.
Right, Akanksha, I'd request you to stay with us on the broadcast. As you rightly pointed out, the much needed aid trucks have started rolling in Gaza. But now let's take a look at some of the political reactions coming in from the United States on this report.
Perhaps most beautiful of all, this week we achieved an epic ceasefire agreement as a first step toward lasting peace in the Middle East. And this agreement could only have happened as a result of our historic victory in November. That was some victory. Was that greatest? But I'm glad to report that the first hostages have just been released. It would have never happened if I were president. Would have never happened. There was not even a thought of it.
Well, Akanksha continues to stay with us on the broadcast. Akanksha, talking about the release of hostages, how is the release of the hostages actually being received by the families and the loved ones of those held captive?
Right. I think yesterday was a very emotional moment for
Indeed.
these three women, because they were handed over by Hamas to the Red Cross. And for once, you know, as the time started passing by, because remember, Kohina, it happened after 3 hours. The ceasefire was supposed to kick in at around 8:30 a.m. local time in Gaza, but it actually happened 3 hours after that. Why was there a delay? Because Hamas was not releasing the name of the hostages that they were supposed to release. Of course, the Israeli Prime Minister also called that out. He said that we will not go ahead with the ceasefire as long as Hamas doesn't share the list with us, which Hamas called as a technical delay. Eventually, they did release that list. And so finally, when those three women, you know, actually walked out, it almost seemed extremely it was unbelievable. It was an incredible moment for them. Those visuals speaking 1,000 words for yourself.
Indeed.
Three young women. One of them is a British Israeli. She was in fact taken away from the Nova Music Festival, which saw that kind of horror as Hamas continued to attack, rape the women. They were shot and killed while they were raped. So, you know, I think there have been gruesome murders by Hamas. As far as October 7 is concerned, the horrors continue to haunt Israel. But I think there's still a ray of hope, as these three women, in fact, stepped out after 471 days. So it was almost surreal to see them walking up to their families as they were handed over to the Red Cross. They were first taken to the hospital. They also, all these three women were then, introduced to their mothers. They spent a lot of time with their mothers as they were, in fact, getting checked up in the hospitals. But having said that, I think there's a larger geopolitical messaging to this. You heard what the incoming US President Donald Trump had to say. He's gone on to say that such an attack would have never happened had he been the US president. So we'll have to see how the incoming Trump administration milks the release of these three hostages and also takes this forward with the remaining release of the other hostages.
Right, Akanksha, I'll still request you to stay with us on the broadcast. We'll come back to you to understand the role of the international mediators overall on this Israel-Hamas ceasefire deal. Now, as the hostages reunite with their families, Israeli Foreign Minister, while speaking to CNN, has clarified that Trump administration didn't force Israel into accepting the ceasefire. He's even clarified further that progression to next phase won't be automatic. More on this in our next report.
No doubt that the efforts that America invested, and of course President Trump, that came with a very powerful message right after his elections, and they were coordinated, both administration. So altogether, of course, the involvement of America, the strong involvement of America, the strong involvement of President Trump was very, very influential and helpful during the last weeks. It's not that the President Trump and the incoming administration